Yo, welcome to Star Alignment channel. Today's gonna be another short, quick video about esoteric elemental alchemy and what each element means, but also the relationship between them. So I already did a rundown of what each element means in my previous video: fire, creativity, passion, aggression, motivation, all that stuff like that. Visions, right? Water, emotions and feelings. Your emotions and feelings, your moods and your vibrations, right? Feeling the vibe. Air, thinking and analyzing. Anytime you're in thought, thinking and analyzing thoughts, deep thought, but also communication, and relating, like communication. You know what I'm saying? That's the air. And then boom, last but not least, earth. Anything practical, tools, gadgets, anything you do practical. Everything is practical in this dimension, earth that we're in. So also understand that there's a relationship between all these elements together. When you mix fire and water, you get steam, right? So what is steam esoterically? That's you mixing your imaginations, right? Or putting your imaginations and your visions or your creativity and mixing them with your emotions and feelings. When you blend them to you, that creates steam. You see what I'm saying? And steam is like almost like the idea. It's almost like it's a mix of air, water, and fire. So that lets you know, it'll give you a broader idea of like creativity, basically, because it'll create something. So you're adding the fire, the visions, and the imagination, mixing that with the water. You're creating that as steam. So you're gonna have higher ideas and better thoughts about whatever creative thing that you're into. You're gonna it's basically giving birth to a new idea. That's the best way to put it. In so many words, you mix water and earth, you get mud. That's why they say it's not best to mix like relationships or stuff like that when it comes to work, because basically it become muddy. Now mud is not bad, but too much mud can cause clogs. You see what I'm saying? So that's like you mixing your emotions and feelings in your work, or mixing your emotions and feelings with your stability, your practicality. It can kind of tumble over. It can create sticky situations in your life. With the earth element, air and earth just create dust. So that can be good, but that can be bad. They create dust. That's like you adding too much thinking, too much talking. You telling everybody your business, what you got going on. That's creating a dusty environment esoterically. So you're adding too much relatability. You're talking too much and communicating too much about stuff that you might not need to be communicating, and you're overthinking about these things too. It could be both of them or either one, and you're adding that with your work. You don't necessarily want to do that either too much, but you could do it because everything is good in moderation. But you don't want to do it too much. It could add a dusty environment. Too much dusty, you won't be able to breathe. You see what I'm saying? And then lastly, I'll run down. They all can be mixed, but the last thing I'm gonna run down is, let's see, air and fire. A lot of times the air can blow out the fire. Or it could add fuel to the fire. So if air is thinking and analyzing and communicating, this means that using air and fire is like thinking heavy, thinking a lot about your creativity, thinking a lot about your imagination, thinking a lot about your vision. And this can either make them bigger or put them out. You see what I'm saying? You overthink about them too much, depending on how big that imagination is, aka that fire. If you thinking a lot more, aka you got more wind than your imagination or your vision that you have, your creativity, aka that fire, it'll blow that fire out. It'll blow out your creativity, blow out your imagination. It'll kill that thought. You see what I'm saying? It'll kill that creative idea that you had. If it's more fire than it is air, aka more imagination, more vision, more creativeness than you have thinking. So you're thinking a lot about it, but the imagination and creativity that you have is much more greater. It'll just add more so to that imagination. You'll just have a bigger creativity, have more creative. It could be more of more expensive of whatever you're trying to create or whatever the creativity you have. So I'm saying, but that's just a quick rundown. All these things can be mixed. You can mix air and fire. You can mix air and water. You know what I'm saying? You could mix anything. But basically with that, I'm gonna cut this video short. This video was about the esoteric elemental alchemy and the relationship between all of them.